Hello and welcome to episode 3 of RaiderIO's weekly No Leavers. I'm your host, Sean, and today I'm joined by Taliesin. Thanks for being here.
Hey, thanks for having me, Sean. This is awesome. I'm doing a group with you in real life in the game. This is so exciting. You have no idea how excited I am right now.
I can only imagine that your excitement is somewhere around the same level as mine. It's not every day you get to play.
It's much higher than yours. What are you talking about? It's huge. Like if yours is 10, mine is like 25 at least, maybe 99, probably 11, something like that. It's insane. It shouldn't be legal.
Okay, that's pretty high, especially like because you're in the top 2% in the world for Warcraft healers. And I'm slightly
glad
lower.
You mentioned that actually, because I wasn't going to mention it, and it's not something I like to talk about. I find it quite embarrassing to bring up because but it is true. Well, actually, I don't actually know, but last time I checked, when I got to my current rating, my current Mythic Plus rating, it was 98th percentile then. It's probably a bit lower then because I've kind of tailed off the Mythic Plus season a little bit now.
Well, you've capped, right? You hit that peak and you're like, what is the point?
Yeah, I was spent. I was a husk and I needed to have a little rest. I needed to just go on holiday, retire just for the season and get ready for season 3, So I don't remember anything about this dungeon. I don't know what's going on. This is going to be a massacre.
I think all we need to do is you keep the bars on your screen full, and actually not even full, just above 0, and we're good.
Yeah, or more importantly, just you. It's absolutely fine. And as everyone knows, the Motherlode, this dungeon, there's nothing that can go wrong in this dungeon. There's no difficult pulls in this dungeon. Yeah. There's no like insane swirlies on the floor or anything like that. There's no like terrible gauntlets. I don't see what can possibly go wrong. This is going to be a lesson for everyone watching, basically.
That's right. Famously difficult to add extra to a pull in Motherlode.
It's so under control the whole time, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But I do think you're sneaky choosing this dungeon because it does, of course, have like the most forgiving timer of any dungeon this season, and I can't help but feel that may be factored in your decision as well, which is pretty exciting. I was tanking this yesterday. I'm trying to get my triple threat achievement, so I was tanking it at like a +8, I think, and we timed it with 7 minutes to spare, even though we had 34 deaths.
Wow. Okay.
Like that's how forgiving this timer is. So if we don't do this, there's trouble.
So the bar is set there. 34. That's our cap. 34 deaths.
None of them my fault, obviously.
Obviously.
It was just the noobs I was playing with. It was, yeah.
Very clearly their fault. Yeah, I love it. All right. I'm going to rock a pull timer. We'll get started.
Oh, yeah.
And while we do that, so this Friday, Marvel is unveiling the first family of the cinematic universe, the Fantastic Four. As the unofficial first family of Warcraft, how do you balance being in the top 2%? Work, parenting, and finding time to be a couple?
Oh, it's easy. I just neglect my children and my wife and just concentrate on Mythic Plus the whole time, obviously. No, it's hard. And our kind of video output and work and the amount of time that we've been able to spend sort of on the channel has been kind of like noticeably less since our kids were born. First with our son 5 years ago, and then we had a daughter as well. So it is tricky, it is hard, and it's kind of, I've had to kind of make the conscious decision and effort to, spend less time staying up until 4 a.m. and writing scripts and stuff like that, and spend more time with my kids, picking them up and going to school. And weekends is the really hard one, because weekends is when we'd usually do the weekly reset and just really dedicate ourselves to that, and it takes a lot of work and a lot of writing and a lot of editing and stuff like that to have a kind of a topical news show coming out weekly like that. But obviously now with the kids, weekends we want to spend with them doing fun things like cycle rides and ice creams and family and stuff. So that's been the biggest sort of impact for sure. And it's like a constant juggling act. But yeah, I mean, we can do less work than we used to. And it's nice to be able to blame the kids as well, actually, because, I'm in my 40s now. Evie's she's much younger than that, obviously.
Excellent avoidance there.
Yeah. I'm just old and tired, and it's nice that I can blame the kids for the lack of video output, to be honest.
Do you find, like, have you set because you guys have been doing this a long time, do you have set like these are our work days, these are our work hours?
Yeah, we kind of have to do that now, and it involves a lot of travel in recent years as well, which is hard because it's the both of us. So you know, we're going to Gamescom this August for the midnight reveal and stuff like that, and we're gonna be working over there, hosting some panels and things. We might be going somewhere else in December as well. And of course, they don't want just me, and they don't want just Evie. Well, they might want just Evie anyway, but they're not getting it. So that means leaving our kids with other various members of family for a while as well. And yeah, it has sort of affected how much we can do and how much we want to do as well. So yeah, it's hard, but you know, that's life.
I have heard that Blizzard is coming to the Taliesin and Evitel Gamescom event.
Yeah, we're working quite a lot. It's
you guys are do you want to talk about some of the things you're going to be doing here in late August?
Oh man, do I? So we're going to be there for the opening ceremony and the reveal, which is going to be like super fun. And we go. Oh no. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I pulled that. Sorry, I wasn't paying any attention. I'm dead. Just ignore that. Don't pull anything. Or pull it all. That's fine. That's good.
This was intended. This is a new strat that I think one of the MDI
this is
teams is unveiling.
that was a plus 17 strat I was doing there, guys, and you just weren't keeping up, obviously.
It's my fault.
No, my fault entirely. I should not have tried to cross that divide. But yeah, so we're going to be there for the opening ceremony, and we'll try and stream maybe from our hotel room straight after that to kind of talk about the reveal and things, because that's super exciting. Nothing more exciting in World of Warcraft than an expansion reveal, right?
Yeah.
Even though it's a bit of a weird one because we kind of know what it is. But Blizz has like a huge presence down there this year, you know. So there's going to be a creator clash happening, which is going to be, among other things, a player housing competition. So there's going to be like a player housing off, where people kind of design player houses live and get judged for it. And we're going to be part of hosting that, which is going to be super fun. Looking forward to that. And there's going to be a cosplay competition. We're hosting that, I think. And there's going to be interviews. We're going to be interviewing Maria Hamilton live on stage, which is really exciting. And we're doing our podcast live on stage as well. So yeah, it's basically non-stop. And it feels like every day there's a new email with something else to be getting ready for too. So that's what you want to do, though. You want to be busy when you're at something like that. And that means we get to hang out with all like our friends and other creators and stuff as well. Which is awesome. Can't wait. It's like the closest we ever get to a Christmas party, basically, like an office party, is when we go to Blizzard events and hang out like that, you know.
When will you sleep? That is a jam-packed schedule.
When we're dead, obviously. When Last Titan's over, that's when we sleep.
I love that. You mentioned how exciting expansion launches are. You know, in this one, even though we know what's coming, it's still exciting. Can you think back, because you've been doing this? I don't want to say a long time. I don't want to make it sound like you're, you know, ancient, but you've been doing this a long time.
Yeah, I think 9 years now since we started the channel. It'll be obviously our 10th anniversary next year. So longer than we've been married, longer than we've had kids, longer than we've lived in this house. Like all our sort of big life landmarks. The channel is older than all of them at this point. Which is wild because I was an actor for years and years, so I did like hundreds of different jobs, right? So this is easily the longest I've ever had any job at all, and that's kind of weird to think that it's the YouTube is the thing that's stuck, you know.
Did you know, like, when you started out the channel, were you like, this is going to be something that has longevity? Like, I'm really good at this.
No, not really. I don't think I've ever thought that we're good at it either, but yeah, we thought when it started taking off. Well, actually, no, I tell a lie. Maybe on the very first day that I published the first video, I might have thought that. You know, I put our first video up. I subscribed to our new channel with, you know, my 5 different email addresses that I had. And I was like, you know what? I think this video is pretty good. I think this video is pretty clickbaity. You know, it was called something like things to do in WoW while you're waiting for Legion or something like that, you know, because it was WoD at the time. And oh, nice ping. I like the communication. That's good. And I was like, this is a good video. I reckon when we wake up in the morning, I reckon there'll be like 1,000 views on this video. you know.
Yeah.
And you know, that my new life as a YouTube creator will have begun in earnest. And I went to bed really excited, like giggling to myself, and I was like, oh yeah, can't wait to see how many views this video gets in the morning. And it got none, obviously, literally not a single view.
Not
by the
one
time
of
we
your
woke up and
5
looked at it.
Gmails watched it?
Yeah, well, no, apart from those, I didn't count those. You know, I was, yeah, exactly. So no extra views on top of those at all. And to say that was a crushing disappointment is an understatement. And then I didn't look at it for a while, and when I came back, it had quite a few views, and yeah, it just kind of sort of took off from there, like remarkably quickly, actually, which was amazing and lucky and wonderful. And you know, we've always said from day one, it was like, you know, it can't possibly last, so we'll be ready for it not to last.
Right.
And that we still kind of say that today. But it paid for our wedding, and that's all we could ever ask for. So
Nice.
You know?
Nice. That's a win. It's
yeah, thanks, patrons.
Do you have the patrons' names all written on? Is there like a door in your house?
Yeah, I've got them all engraved on the inside of my wedding ring, so I never forget.
Oh, very smart. Very. I love that. So the week, like, it's obviously it evokes like a sense of a daily show with Jon Stewart, or, you know, last week tonight, John Oliver. Did you consciously take inspiration from those types of shows?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
like you know, I felt that's what we could offer the WoW space, was basically just to rip off John Oliver. We were like, there's like a gap in the market, not a gap in the market, but it's like what I want to watch, like on YouTube, because obviously I was watching loads of WoW YouTube, like Preach and stuff like that, and I was like, what there isn't, which I'd really like, is like literally a John Oliver show about WoW, where instead of making kind of in-jokes about politics, he's making in-jokes about WoW and stuff that literally only a very small percentage of the world knows anything about. And I thought that's perfect, that's excellent. And obviously I'm kind of a dweeby English person, or English accent person, so it just felt right, and it was very much my sort of sense of humor anyway. So it's always come very naturally, yeah, just being a dweeb.
I love it. I love it.
But yeah, it was always very intentional to have that kind of vibe, you know. And if you watch the earlier videos, they're even more that kind of vibe, you know.
It rings true. Like, you can see it's like it doesn't feel like you're just going through the motions. Like, we can tell that you're passionate about the topics that you're covering, and I think that is probably helped the longevity of your show. Is it strange to you that there's no like you do it so well, there's no imitators, like there's no, oh, I'm going to be the wish.com Taliesin, although I did pitch that show before this one.
I think I'm the wish.com Taliesin, right? So you know, I've got all the markets cornered there. But I think there's a couple of reasons why we don't have many imitators, and that's because you know, you can be much more successful by not doing what we do. I think is like a really important thing to understand, is that we absolutely niche ourselves up the wazoo by having the kind of humor that we do and having the kind of approach we do. And, you know, like, as a creator, what you really want to do, I guess, is appeal to the broadest possible audience at all times, which we just don't do. You know, it's like, I remember I used to have these rules for a video when I was writing it, because obviously we write it, and that's a slow process, and the kind of editing we do is a slow process. There's nothing very efficient about the way we produce videos, which is bad for YouTube in the first place. But there's also a thing of, like, my rules were, in the early days, every 3 sentences there has to be a joke. Okay. And we don't stick to that rule anymore, but I was hard and fast on that. And the other rule I had was, no one should understand every joke in the video. Like, no matter who you are, no matter what your sense of humor is, there should be jokes in this video that you just don't get. No one should get these jokes. Like, there should be enough niche jokes that no one could possibly understand them all. And so, yeah, like, we purposely do kind of alienate our audience a little bit. But that's good. I think that makes a good vibe, you know? I think that's cool. And, you know, there were loads of jokes in the early videos where you literally had to pause and read, like, paragraphs of text, which was just a joke appearing on screen, you know. And yeah, it's just not, it's not designed for a particularly broad audience. So I think that's probably the main reason we don't have many imitators, is because, you know, why would you when you can just be way more successful doing something else?
Right. I read a really fun blog post once, and it was talking about content creation and that building of an audience, and it said you don't need 100,000 viewers that sort of like your stuff. You just need 1,000 viewers that love it.
Oh yeah, totally. And that was always like the mantra when I was in bands and stuff as well. You know,
Yeah.
It's like that's what they always say. It's like you don't need to have loads of people. You just need like a solid base, and we've always had that. In fact, I was saying I for the first time ever, I've actually set a bit of a goal this year and in the build up to the next expansion as far as the channel goes. And I've never set a goal for the channel before, but I have now, and our goal is to finally get to 300,000 subscribers on YouTube, because we've had pretty much exactly 293,000 subscribers since BFA. And like we lose subscribers and we gain subscribers, but it's so weird how it constantly stays at this number, and it's got to the stage where it's kind of annoying me. And it's awesome, it's amazing, it's brilliant. I wouldn't you know, and the audience we have is like incredibly passionate and supportive and cool. They're just cool people, and they smell nice and they're handsome, and that's always nice. But I kind of feel like I'm ready for that push. I'm ready after like 8 years or whatever to finally go above that number now, you know.
You're like, okay, you know what? I've given it some thought, and I'm ready. Now is the time.
Totally. So I don't know what we've got to do that, but I don't know. Maybe stop making jokes. I'm not sure, but we'll push it. We'll push
double
it.
down.
Even
Make
if I have to
more jokes.
What I will probably do is I'll probably actually just do a segment at the end of each show for a year where I beg people to set up new email accounts and subscribe to us, even though they're already subscribed to us, like I did back in the day. It's like, it's good enough for me, it's good enough for you, right?
Yeah, that's right. If just 1 out of every 30 of you makes a second
it's like,
email
yeah,
account,
please, just do it.
we can make this happen.
Yeah.
I love it. The weekly reset, I mean, it's such a huge part of the lives of so many viewers, you know, and I really enjoy hearing that you go out of your way to like make jokes that not everybody will understand. That's great. Can you give us like a glimpse of what what does the preparation for an episode look like? And how are you going to get one done in 3 days at gamescom?
Yeah, well, good question, man. I'm asking myself the same thing. It was like maybe vaguely possible before we just agreed to do literally everything else at Gamescom as well. But yeah, so like during the week, we have this thing where we're supposed to, as news happens, like make a note, have a little spreadsheet, you know, maybe kind of pre-write a segment on something if we can. That never ever happens ever. And so we get to like Friday, which is our official sort of start the weekly reset day. And then we get everything together, and then we go through it, and we try and get, usually it's kind of clear what would be Evie bits and what would be Tally bits. And kind of, I do the majority of the writing, unless there's something Evie's like really keen on writing, then I do the majority of it. And I've got really good over the years of like writing in her voice, and because we're talking about all the news all week anyway, just amongst ourselves, like pretty much everything that's in the script is stuff that we've said to each other, and sort of, you know, just like regurgitating conversations we've had and points we made to each other when we were being very clever and stuff like that. So it's just structuring it and getting it all down. And the hardest bit is probably thinking of the little intro skits every week. Or not thinking about them, but just recording them on the green screen and editing them. Like, it takes longer to kind of edit those together than the rest of the episode combined, really. So yeah, that's probably the hardest bit. And if an episode is late, it's usually because of that. Because like the intro skit needed some clever editing, which I wasn't really ready to do or something. So yeah.
Right. That's okay. We'll wait. It's worth it. It's worth the wait. We'll take it. I love it. Okay, I did say that we would talk about player housing as the news topic. We haven't done that yet. I also haven't told any of the listeners what the show is. If you're now watching, if you're just tuning in, Weekly No Leavers
You're making
is
such quick work of this dungeon, mate. Like, you know, there's gonna run out of time completely. We're actually eating this dungeon for breakfast.
Yeah,
it's
the feedback
like,
I get after every show is
this a plus 12? It feels like a plus 5. It's insane.
It's when you only bring Giga Chad players.
No, I survived. Insane. Right, okay.
We brought the top. I don't know if you know this, but you are among the top 2% of the world.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned it again, because I don't like to mention it. It is embarrassing. I don't want it to feel like, you know, I don't want it to seem like I'm judging the other people in my group for not, like, objectively not being as good as me. You know, the numbers don't lie.
That's right. I just wish you weren't beating me in DPS. That would be nice.
Oh shit.
Love it. But yeah, so player housing. Let's pretend I'm lukewarm on player housing. Now, I've seen that you are quite excited for it. What would you say to push me from lukewarm to max hype for the upcoming feature?
So the best thing about WoW player housing is how much better it is than it needs to be. Like, we've been wanting player housing for so long in WoW. The player base, the people who are into it, the people who want it, are so desperate for it that, quite frankly, the bar was incredibly low. Like, Blizz could have served us up basically anything. And as long as it was kind of player housing shaped. Do you remember how excited everyone got about the little apartment that we get in Undermine?
Yeah.
You know, which is just a hearthstone in a room, basically, you know, and with no interactable stuff. Honestly, if player housing had been that, people would have been happy with it. And, you know, it would have been enough that had gone, here we are, at last, player housing. And, you know, it's not very good compared to other MMOs, but what do you expect? It's WoW. At least they tried.
In this
they managed
economy.
it with their little spaghetti code and stuff. And, you know, that would have been that. I think that's what many of us were expecting, to be honest. But the amazing thing about it is how it's so much more than that, you know? And, like, it's far and away one of the best player housings in MMOs in general. It's not just good by WoW standards, it's good compared to basically anything else there is on the market, you know? And I think that's something which is such a surprise, because I think our expectations of Blizzard over the past few years are like so low, and so, you know, we expect them to kind of half-ass everything, and they absolutely haven't. They've gone above and beyond, and they've created something which is genuinely, I think, potentially wonderful and among the best player housing systems in video games, let alone MMOs. It's going to be that good.
Okay.
Or potentially that good. I can't see how they're going to mess it up at this stage. It's really great.
They would have to go, like, they would have to do something drastic to...
They'd have to try so hard to mess it up, Sean. And the thing we know about Blizz is they don't like trying hard, so it's going to be great.
That's right. They've hit that mark. They're golden.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The renown track will come out and will be limited in how many items you can drop, and it starts at 6.
Precisely.
Your first WoW home looks like your first apartment. So you guys have been around a long time. You've been online a long time. You've dealt with a lot of things. For new content creators, like you're a bit of an inspiration. How would you tell people to deal with, like, online negativity or aggressive comments? I don't want to say like trolls and hate comments, but trolls and hate comments.
Yeah, it's hard. There's nothing to really, there's no advice you can really give apart from just growing a thick skin, really, and not taking it personally, and understanding that the vast majority of any comments like that are coming from people who, they don't even mean what they're saying half the time. They're just venting on the internet, or maybe they're literal children who are getting their trolling game up to scratch, and, you know, just there for practice and stuff. And, you know, honestly, that's fine. I think, you know, there's only so much damage anonymous comments online can really do. You know, there's stuff that's happened to us which has been bad, like doxing and kind of like the odd campaign here and there. But general comments on the internet is, you know, that's vanilla. That's fine. That's okay. And so it is hard at first. And just, I guess the advice would be to just sort of stay true to yourself and don't try and become what you think the nasty comments are telling you to be, and what you think the nasty comments are telling you that you need to be. Because that's not going to help anyone. You just, you know, you've got to be honest and real and true to yourself and just be you. Because you're going to get the horrible comments, whatever. So imagine if you get in the horrible comments and you were unhappy with not having like that authenticity of what you present online as well. That would be even worse. So, and in terms of negativity about like WoW and stuff like that, it's it's just a fact that any kind of professional content, any game or hobby or anything that has a professional content creation scene is always going to err towards negativity.
Right.
Because there's so much money in it, apart from anything, and there's so many clicks and there's so much attention, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And you know, if you're like, oh, I want to go out and I want to get loads of clicks, and I want to make like outrageous, angry content, that's absolutely fine, as long as you know what you're doing. I think there's this really insidious kind of subconscious thing when you're creating negative content, and we fall into this at times as well. Is there are two really addictive parts of it. There's the bit where you get more money and make more clicks and stuff, and that's the bit you know is happening. But there's a bit that you don't know is happening as well, and that's that when you're being negative, human beings automatically associate negativity with honesty. So there's this thing of, you know, the comments that you're getting when you're being really negative about stuff, even if you're like objectively wrong about something, the comments you're getting are like, oh yeah, you're so honest, you're so real, you're telling it how it is and stuff like that. Whereas, you know, if you're being positive, people will generally say that you're being dishonest if they disagree with you, you know? So there's this subconscious thing where the kind of response you're getting is really good for the ego when you're being negative, because everyone's telling you how real and true you are, you know? And that's addictive in itself. And I think that's the really insidious thing about getting caught in a negative content loop, is not so much that it's such an easy way to make money a lot of the time, but that it gets really addictive having people tell you that you are telling the truth and that you're keeping it real and that, you know, no one else is telling the truth like you are. And, you know, that's one of the harder things to kind of get your head around.
Right.
That's what I think.
No, I love that. Very insightful. Yeah, very insightful. I'm having such a great time. I wish this key was twice as long as it is.
Like, we're gonna finish this dungeon with like 7 minutes to spare. It's this is an A team. I want to keep this group together and maybe push some of my higher scores, to be honest.
Let's do it. We'll jump into one of your 17s after. Speaking of your 17s, is this the highest IO you've been?
Yes. Yeah. The first time I ever got over, I never took Mythic Plus particularly seriously for the longest time. You know, I always enjoyed it, but I never wanted to push it or anything like that. You know, I've been playing Discipline Priest since Mythic Plus started in Legion. I don't know if you remember, but with the changes that Disc went through at the beginning of Legion, which turned it into the kind of do damage to heal sort of spec that it is now, the most engaging playstyle in the game, I think. But at the beginning of Legion just didn't work. Like, literally didn't work. You couldn't do any healing in Raid, and you certainly couldn't do any healing in Dungeons. It was just off the table completely. So that kind of put me off from the very start. And it wasn't until Dragonflight Season 3 that I started pushing Mythic Plus for the first time. And that's the first time I got over 3K sort of Mythic Plus score, IO score. And, you know, I think Season 3 Dragonflight was a time that loads of people got into Mythic Plus for the first time and really started pushing it because it became so much user friendly. And this season as well, I've just been having an absolute ball, like really great. So yeah, I've never come close to this kind of level before, and I think I could keep pushing as well, but time has just kind of taken over. Really, it's just
right.
Sort of, yeah.
You've got Sao Paul to be planning, so you can't.
Well, yeah.
Hypothetically, theoretically,
yeah.
The key's done. We finished. We obviously blasted this. You have a few more minutes. There's like 2 more things I'd love to pick your brain on.
Take your time, man. I like part of the joy is like, you know, standing around and basking in the glory of a key well done, especially with the old Dragonfly, the old BFA stuff, because you get the Eye of N'Zoth on your head. I like it. I enjoy every moment where I get to have my Eye of N'Zoth back on my head. That's why these dungeons are so easy, is because I've got, you know, extra help from on high.
You know? That's what it is. Yeah. Are you excited to see N'Zoth in the midnight trailer or the artwork they gave us? Do you think that's N'Zoth?
Man, that stuff is so up my alley. It might as well be sitting on the end of my bed watching me sleep. It's insane. Like, I've always been you know, the stuff that I've always loved most about WoW has always been like the Void stuff. It's always been the Old God stuff. You know, I obviously throughout Legion, I fell in love with Xalatath then. So the way that they've worked her character since has been like such a joy. She's, you know, as far as I'm concerned, the best built up baddie ever in the history of WoW. And World of Warcraft, because I know people get angry and say Arthas, but, you know, he wasn't really built like in World of Warcraft. Exactly, yeah. So with the exception of perhaps Garrosh, I just think, you know, she's had like this incredible build up and, you know, hopefully a satisfying payoff as well. And that's just always been my vibe and the aesthetic that I really love in WoW. So to have Midnight hopefully promising a kind of, everyone wants a void version of Legion, right? That's what everyone wants from Midnight. And if it is even slightly like a void version of Midnight and has that sense of danger, has that kind of consistency of tone that Legion has, but then with player housing and revamped Silvermoon on top of it, and like, you know, I mean, I always say I think the dominoes are in place for Midnight potentially being one of the all-time great expansions, maybe like best expansion ever. You know, it's sort of, I think Silvermoon, Void, Legion vibes being the second part in a 3-part series, where you've got, you know, room for things to go wrong and to have big losses and stuff like that, and for it to be dark and dangerous and all the rest of it, and the fact that WoW is just in a pretty good place at the moment as well, philosophy wise. I think I just think everything's in place for it to be an absolute banger, and I mean, I hope it is. It'd suck, wouldn't it, if it just blew?
Yeah, it just knows that. Okay. I don't think I'm with you. Like, I am very excited. I'm switching to Paladin next year. I mained Warrior this tier when I play on NA, and I watched Noble did a video. I don't know if you're familiar with Noble. Noble did a video.
Oh, that idiot! He doesn't know what he's talking about. Ignore him. He knows nothing. It's embarrassing. Oh, it's embarrassing. Listen to that guy talk about lore. I'm just like, what is he talking about now? Oh man, has he ever read any of the books? No, obviously, like Noble's awesome. He's one of the guys I always look forward to hanging out with when we go to these things. Like, yeah.
But he did a video on the Sunwell. I was like, oh man, I gotta reroll Blood Off. We're going back to Kel'Thalas. We're going to be in Silvermoon. It does feel like WoW is like on this precipice of greatness. Obviously, I'm a man of a certain age. Wrath of the Lich King. You know, far too much of my personality is tied to that expansion. So.
Yeah, tell me about it. I know the feeling, dude.
I'm very excited. So WoW's obviously accomplished a lot, but you as a group have accomplished a lot as well. Taliesin and Evitel as well. Immortalis, race to world first for guilds, a bit like Immortalis. Is there anything still on your bucket list? Like, what haven't you done that you would like to?
Date Zali. I know. I feel
I've seen the cosplays. You are basically.
Yeah. Well, actually, yeah, that was my special birthday treat. So that was great. But no, honestly, I feel like it sounds weird to say it, but player housing and particularly the neighborhood system and player housing and the idea that we can have like guild neighborhoods and stuff like that is such a kind of ambition fulfilled for me on paper, you know, and in theory, and I know we haven't seen it in action yet, but the idea that I get to live in a neighborhood with my guildies, because I think joining the guild that I'm in now, I did it before the channel, and I think it changed my life more than the channel did. You know, I like the channel changed my life in a huge way, but I think none of that would have happened without the guild. And the fact that I found this amazing group of people, we all got on really well, and you know, we go on holiday together, and we have meetups together all the time, and we play other games together, and you know, some of them came to my wedding, and it's just like this magical thing. And the idea that I get to live in a neighborhood with them and do neighborhoody type stuff and do endeavors together and get a big Val'sharah tree and stuff like that and go around and visit each other's houses, and maybe we'll have a party round Al's house tonight, and maybe we'll have a party round Evitel's house tonight, and like see what everyone else, and they're a creative bunch, right? So I know their house is going to be absolutely like diamond. It's going to be fantastic. And so that genuinely having a more kind of formalized in-game social space with WoW is one of my kind of pie in the sky best case scenario ambitions kind of fulfilled. In the more immediate like terms, and just from like sort of achievements points of view, I've never got cutting edge. So we're not that kind of guild. We've always traditionally been a heroic guild, and focused on ahead of the curve, and taken on what mythic is there afterwards.
Mhm.
But I think these days, with heroic being so much easier than it used to be, frankly, partly because of gear acquisition and stuff like that, and renown trees that nerf it so much and what have you. I think we're looking to try and get cutting edge next season and go in there. And we're kind of forming the raid team with that in mind. And there was messages in our guild forums like, is everyone okay taking it more seriously and going for mythic? And we're like, yeah, we are. That's right. Count me in. Sign me up. Yeah, I'm definitely going to take it more seriously. It's like, okay, well, you gotta know the fights. And it's like, yeah, we'll know the fights. Don't worry. It's like, you got to get all the gear and stuff. It's like, yeah, we'll get all the gear. Don't worry. I'm taking this so seriously. We all are, aren't we, guys? And it's like, yeah, we all are. It's like, okay, do you want to go up to 3 nights a week from 2? And everyone's like, nah, no, that'd be silly. No, we'll keep it 2 nights a week. That's fine. That's plenty. We'll get cutting edge with 2 nights a week. Easy game, right?
Yeah, so my NA team, we raid 2 nights a week and only 3 hours a night. We're a 6-hour a week raid team.
Yeah.
And we got it. We were, I think, world rank just 488, I think, this tier. So we have an exceptional raid leader. She is absolutely fantastic. But yeah, it can be done. If you need any help with strats or like setting things out, let me know. Shoot me a message. I'm happy to help you guys. Weak ores and stuff like that. I'm definitely all for new teams getting CE. That makes I'm even more excited now for Midnight, knowing that Immortalis might be actually entering the real race to world first.
Yeah. Totally. But it's like, if we don't get it, it's because they're too busy carrying me, and I appreciate that. I appreciate, we've got a philosophy with our guild. We don't like to bench people if we can kind of, and that's why we like heroic, because we can have as many people or as few people in the team as turn up, and it doesn't affect anything. And so it is a different mindset for mythic in that sense, but we haven't got it in us to be very cutthroat about it, or kind of all the benching stuff is not something we're used to, and we do it to hang out and to chill and have fun. So we'll see how far we get, but I'm confident we've got some excellent players.
I'm excited. Well, they have at least one fantastic healer. I just did a key with them. So I have one last question, and then I'm going to let you move on with your evening. I know it is much later for you than it is for me.
No, as much as you like, man. I'm here. It's all good.
I love it. So you're just like amazing and open. You were like our version of Henry Cavill. You're like, it's fantastic. But I mean, smaller, but
much considerably smaller, and older, and all the rest of it.
Yeah. I just want to know, in this journey, this 9 years you've been doing this, what would you say is one of your fondest memories? I don't want you to have to nail it down to one.
Oh, do you know what? I mean, I think I would have to say the first BlizzCon we ever went to. Because for a start, we can only go to BlizzCon if Blizzard takes us, basically. It's too far away and too expensive and all the rest of it. So just being invited by Blizz to BlizzCon was a huge deal and felt awesome and very special. And the channel had only been up and running for like a year and a half or whatever. And to go there and to be in the main hall, like at the front for the BFA cinematic, which, I mean, that was also the BlizzCon where they revealed Classic. Okay, so the crowd went absolutely wild for Classic when they revealed that. But then when they showed the BFA cinematic with, for the Horde and for the Alliance and all that, I swear, when Sylvanas kind of did her Banshee thing and then gathers herself up and shouts for the Horde, people were on their chairs, like literally standing on their chairs, like screaming, whooping, shouting. I've never been in a crowd like it, and like just the buzz in that crowd as they played that cinematic. It's easy to forget, but it's like it was magical. It was incredible, and that wasn't even the best thing about that BlizzCon though. The best thing about that BlizzCon was we got to, for the very first time, pretty much, meet viewers of the channel, and we went to the Wowhead signing kind of like evening before Calm Before the Storm. And you know, we stayed there until we had like an hour slot, but we stayed there till midnight because there were like so many people who just wanted to say hi and say hello and say that they enjoyed the show. And you know, we got to the end of that night. And we were there until they literally threw us out of the hall, you know, and we had to like walk down the rest of the queue and say hello to people. And when they finally closed the hall at the end, like me and Evie just had to like literally collapse and lie down on the floor for a bit, and we couldn't move. But it was just, yeah, I'll never forget just how kind people were and how lovely and pleasant people were. And it's easy when it's what you were talking about with comments and stuff earlier. It's easy to forget when you're online that real people exist, and real people are generally pretty brilliant and generally just like lovely human beings and a joy to be around. And that's the first time we'd really been reminded of that sort of in the flesh. So yeah, that night in Calm Before the Storm, I think the first time we were at BlizzCon, was just yeah, that's where we felt like, oh, actually I feel like we're doing something quite fun with our lives now. Yeah, I'll treasure that memory forever. It was brilliant.
I love that. That's heartwarming. That's a great. I think that is a great way to end the show. Despite chats screaming for another key, I think we'll end it there.
One more key. One more key.
Taliesin, sir, thank you so much for being here. Can you tell everybody where they can find you so we can hit that 300,000?
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, bring your friends. Bring your mum. Bring your dad. Bring your cousins. Bring your school friends. Bring the guy from the corner shop and the grocery. Get them to subscribe to Taliesin and Evitel on YouTube. We also stream on Twitch as well. So you can catch us there too. But forget that. That's not important. The important thing is the YouTube. Like, call all your old friends you haven't seen in years. Hook yourself up with them on Facebook and be like, hey, have you seen this great channel? I think you should go and subscribe to it right now.
I love it. And if you don't have 4 or 5 extra accounts, maybe make 4 or 5 extra accounts.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I just need to make 6,000 more accounts, and we are golden.
I love it. I love it. And to the listeners, I want to thank you for being here and spending your time with us and choosing to watch RaiderIO's weekly No Leaver. We'll be back next week with a new guest. If you had a lot of fun and you want to race us against this key, the Mythic Plus replay for this dungeon will be in the link in the YouTube description. You can grab it, throw it in your own in-game Mythic Plus replay, and see if you can beat our time of 25:37. We did slow down a little. Our tank was a bit heavy, but
no one's going to touch that score. Are you kidding? No one's going to get near it. Don't even try. Don't even try, guys. You'll just feel terrible about yourself afterwards, and that's fair. You shouldn't judge yourself against like a top 2 percentile player like me. It's not fair on yourself.
That's the first time you've mentioned it.
Oh God, did it just slip out? That's so weird. Sorry. Usually I'm so good at not mentioning it.
It's great. I love it. So yeah, we're gonna say goodbye, and we'll see you next week.
Cheerio.